Hey guys, my name is Sediak and welcome back to another episode of Subway Builder, the London UK edition. Where last episode, guys, we built a loop. Well, technically we didn't. We built the first part of the loop right now, our beautiful little pink or peach line, pinky line. What did I call it? I called it the loop line, didn't I? Hold on. Yes, I did call it the loop line. We built the first half of it, not because we wasn't able to. Well, technically we wasn't able to. I just didn't have enough money. Now, in today's episode, we're going to hopefully make some progress to actually turning this line into a loop by slowly extending the other lines right now to kind of reach these southern areas to make that loop a little bit more... well, make it make more sense. So we're going to extend the yellow line, the green line, a little bit of this pink line as well, just to move it further down so we can officially plan out where we want this loop to continue. Now, this is going to be an expensive project. We've already spent quite a lot of money. If I view how much we spent in the previous episodes, I spent the most amount of money in the last episode, and in one exact build, I spent 4.37 billion on construction alone before I then went ahead and spent another 600 million. So it was quite an expensive episode, our most expensive one to date, but hopefully we can top that. Well, I don't really want to, but we'll see what happens. Guys, if you are enjoying the series, make sure you smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new. But money is now rolling in thick and fast. It's now coming in faster than we've ever seen before. My profits are now skyrocketing to the point where we're about to make, or almost making, 700 million every single day. So, before we do anything, we're going to check our route ridership. We can see that the loop line is the third most used line. The only downside to the loop line is once it is an actual loop, I have to then split it into two separate lines, one clockwise, one counterclockwise, which will then half and divide its route ridership and split it between the two lines. So it will feel like it doesn't do as much as it did before, but that's what we kind of have to remember. Anyway, let's take a look first at the yellow line and the green line. Now, they both come down and they both merge into this dual setup, this quad setup, I should say. And then we're going to make them split. And I think the idea is to almost follow the existing network to a certain extent. We'll make one line go down here, one line continue to cut across. And how far are we roughly wanting to take it now? What we'll do is we'll plan where the loop line's going to go and where it would hypothetically cross over if one of the lines continued, and we'll build a station there. So I know there's a line that's going to continue going this way and it's going to come down to here. So roughly around here, and I probably reckon it might be a good idea to build a transition station just in general on this side. That's what I reckon. So if I go to build stations, and if I set up a quad and put the quad down to... Now, I know this is expensive, but I'm going to put the quad to -10. And I'm going to build the quad like... Oh, actually, do I want to build it like that? I just realized there could be two lines cutting through. I don't need to do it like that. I can just do a parallel and just keep it normal. So I'm going to build it like this here, which will allow me to kind of turn that way and continue. But more importantly, we want to have that line here cross down, and we're going to bring it down, and it's probably going to follow this direction before... I mean, how south is that loop line going to go? I mean, it's going to have to turn at some point. I don't want it to go too south, or it will kind of feel like it's a little bit out of the way. So... we'll have that then at a -10, just cross down like this. And that's important to be the lower variant because of course, the depths of the buildings around. So that's where that cross is going to happen. And then we have to figure out then where the next one happens. So if I was to then make the one line come down here and then go this way, I pretty much think we've got like unlimited range in where we want it to go. So... I think it might be a case of us choose. I've just realized something. Actually, I could have it cross here. Right, scrap everything I've just done. Right, that line's going to go there. Now, question, do I make that loop line elevated on this run? That would save me a lot of money. Right, scrap everything while I've just said. It don't matter no more. It don't matter no more. So we'll keep a -5 on this one, and we'll cross you over. We'll then do a +5, as our loop line system here can come down this way instead. Now, it moves it a little bit further in, not too far away. Still crissy-crosses, which is great, but also brings us closer to where we bend round to meet back up. Now, that kind of goes down. At some point, we want to kind of come away from this, is what we want to do. And it's just a case of figuring out where this is going to run. And where's the loop line now? It's all the way over there, so we have to bring it all the way down. This is going to be quite a big extension, but I'm not worried about the loop line just yet. That's the issue there. So, in reality, I could bring the line coming down this way all the way down to here, where the loop line could then turn here to cut in. Now, is that too far south? I'm going to say yes and no. But yes, and at the same time, no. How big do I want this loop? I'm now realizing it's going to be quite a big one, isn't it? So anyway, let's continue. So where else could I crissy-crossy it? Because it's going to come down there. I could turn it here to cross through this way. But it's what happens over there is going to be our next issue. Right, potential crossings at a -5. I mean, I could elevate this. I'm going to keep this elevated on this stretch. So potential crossings we have are going to be here, because a line could come down there. Another potential crossing, if you were to come down all the way this way, would be for it to kind of bend down and then turn this way, which that feels too far down. So I could inadvertently make it come underneath this way and go that way, and then try and match it up to this part. So swooping through there, you're looking like... I mean, I should really be checking the demand stats. Right, okay. You're looking like it's going to be around here. I'm keeping it elevated as well because... savings, and it might be better to cross it through there to lead it down this way to where then we'll have a interesting setup connection within here, but we'll get onto that at a later date. Let's just fully extend the green and yellow line before anything else. So it is a quad station. I actually don't remember how low it is. I don't think it's elevated, and also we're gonna have to do something a little bit tasty. For the green line, we're going to have to kind of like add a crissy-crossy in over here. Because the way it's going to have to end, which is unfortunate. So if I just commit to those blueprints and build them. And then I'm just going to quickly edit the green line. Just take it off here for a minute. And then take it off you. So it should, in theory, just end there and then go back. Which will allow me to delete that little kind of bendy bit there we do as an extension. So delete you. Very good, very good. And then to build the tracks quad, I don't know if we're elevated here. I think we might be. I actually think we might be. So I'm going to bend this, obviously coming round. And then there is one more quad station we could implement, but we are going to have to make it go underground. So I'm going to make it go down to a -5, and I'm going to build the quad station, which is going to be a bit tricky, like there. So we're hoping the tracks will kind of work. All right, that goes to there and in. And that's where the quad then ends, and they split in their different directions. So in terms of, I'm choking right now. In terms of building stations, we'll make, and it's probably going to have to drop down to a -10 to go into those buildings. So we'll make this one here a -10. And of course, we'll make this one here a -10. Now, they're pretty close by, but that's how they then split and separate. And then we've got to follow this all the way around. So I think after that point, we can then bring this up to -5 to save a few pennies. So we'll do one there. Oh, okay. This is where we might have some issues unless... Yeah, we're going to have some issues there. So we're going to bring it back down to a -10. And, right, we'll drop a station there. And then we'll back to a +5. Not +5, sorry, a -5. We'll do a station just there. So that is the one-line extension, which... do we do green or do we do yellow? Do we allow them to crisscross into a big X? I think that could be pretty cool. We make the yellow line extend in that variant way. Right, not too bad. We've got a station there and a station there and a station there. I think we can kind of get away with... And this is all elevated, isn't it? So I know this line's elevated. We can get away with a station then just here. So station, station. Do I want one additional station here? It feels like a line would kind of come in that way, but I don't know just yet. I don't know. I might actually delete this and then build it. Oh, that's building tracks, isn't it? And then build it here. Just for the spacing. That's pretty much all it's going to be. Right, 2 solid extensions right there. We'll commit to those first among anything else. And what we'll do is we'll utilize parallel build tracks. Well, we're going to get down to a -10 no matter what anyway. So if I went there and then bend that in, that works for us. But of course, we then have to make one bend down to a -15. Which I can do. I know that that point there is in a -15 to allow these singles to work. So that to go into there is no problem. And then you to go up to here. Okay, we have to undo that. If I brought you in like that and then bend you round. Oh, it could have worked so good. It could have worked so good, but you had to go and ruin it, game. Right, I'm now realizing because of that building. So if I get to here with this. Right, undo. There is a way here. And I'm just trying to figure out the best approach. Right, that will do. Okay, it's not perfect, but it will do. So we've got them to now split. That's my biggest headache from all of this. And then I'll stick to a -5. Back to parallel tracks. There is a rogue... Wait, isn't that like a... No, that is -5. I'm wondering if we go this way instead. It might be a little bit more handy to just then build into it. Yeah, that was definitely the better move. All right. That's got a transition, by the way. That's got a transition to end. It's like from 5 to 10. We have to do the same here. So -10. Get it to there, and then that will then just gradually incline up. And then am I able to run a straight? Yes. Okay, right. So that goes to its final point, which is absolutely perfection, boys. I'm going to try and build this in stages as well. So we'll drop a crossover. There we go. And that's where it will meet the other end of the loop that's coming through. Very good. So the cost of those is 1.1 billion. We've got the funds, so we'll do that. And it's the yellow line we're going to make extend that way. So we'll quickly edit this now. Add on the beautiful stops using the middle platforms. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Keep it going. Zoomy right in. Nice. Right, that is perfection on an extension right there. Now, we probably will eventually make it extend even further. Let me just confirm those changes. Do we need more trains? I might add now up to 8, 5, and then still keep it 2. That will do us. Right, beautiful extension. Beautiful extension right there. So let's now extend the green line, which this is now going to be more elevated. So I'm going to up it to a +5 from the get-go. Build tracks. There we go. And then in. There we go. Right, we got a slight issue here, but nothing I can't solve. With a little bit of a wiggle. And that's all elevated. And of course, we'll add the crossover in here. So far, it's not been as expensive as I was expecting. Build those. And then we'll extend the green line. So we're back to normal with just some simple extensions is where we're then at. So edit the routes. Do both there. Bam, bam. Oh, no, it's on the outside, sorry. Sorry, it's on the outside. All right, there we go. Bam, 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 bam. Right, there we go. The green line is now officially extended. Confirm those changes. And what's good about this is they also go a little bit further. Than where they originally went in different directions, because previously before they kind of merged together and ran on the same end station. So now there's more of a reason to extend further than and utilize those lines more than before. That makes sense. I'm hoping that makes sense. So we know we're going to cross over on the loop line on the Gila station here, and we know we're going to cross over on here. I've just got to figure out again where I decided. So I decided I was going to kind of cut into this, so that's going to go up, and then we'll have to, unfortunately, it's going to have to be so expensive, this. But because we have no line to follow and I'm going under buildings, unfortunately the looped line has to be a -10 depth. So that will cross over to there, that cross over to there. Let me just build the blueprint anyway, just to get that station confirmed. So you can see it comes down there, it turns in, and it will eventually marry up with running down. So there, we'll bring it down here. It will bend around, follow this, cross over that, and it's then just figuring out how it crosses over there to meeting up to there when we've got a big park area in the middle. So obviously the demand stats will say that there is nothing going on here. Feels pretty dead. So my options are to run it down and then round and in, or run it up this way. There is a little bit of a worker area over there, but then I feel like I'm kind of coming down and then going that way and then up. Not a problem. I think that might be the better option. While there is some bigger circles there, it extends a bit further because it will allow me then to run another line through the center. Maybe I can do a smaller loop. Who knows? Who knows? So I think that's the game plan then. That might be the game plan. So I'm thinking then we turn or we create a quad station. Now, is there a crisscross there? There is a crisscross there. We're going to redo the pink line setup and then bring it into a quad system, which is going to share the lines with the loop line, which is going to be an interesting setup, to say the least. So this could be something quite interesting right now. So the crissy cross is just there. That's all good. Confirm those changes. Back to normal. And then what we'll do is we'll delete all of this. Right, all gone. So we'll change the station. We'll do quad station and we'll do -10 so we can change upon the depths. We'll do a minus. Well, that one's going to run there anyway, but we want this to gonna go around. So we'll do a -5 on parallel here. And then we'll just create this transition first before we then will eventually need to split it. And I'll probably split it here to give us the most maximum amount of room to go round to connect up. So let me split it first. So we'll do normal build parallel tracks. And then we'll come out to here. We'll bend round to there. And then we'll hook you up. Glorious, he says. And then we'll do this from a -10 perspective. So bringing you in so we know that there is -10. So we've got the perfect drop now happening. So if I brought you down to there and then in, that works gloriously. To there, that works gloriously. There is no pressures, no issues. It does pretty much the job in question. So that links up and that's now all good. I'm then going to commit to my quad stations. So the last quad station we will add in for the bend. Oh, I could do it here actually. It actually works there perfectly. So if I do the last quad station just there, and it can bend just there. And then we're going to have one just here to split the difference. And then just run my quad track. So I'm also now technically extending the pink line as well. So the pink line's getting a cheeky little extension because of this. And I'll make the pink line go by one more parallel stop. So we'll do that here. Oh, hello. Yeah, we'll do it just there. And then build tracks parallel. So that's all going to be a -10. So if I did a plus or -5, I should say, station, then here, the depths are different. So let's just kind of create this next. So I was wondering then why it's not working. So I know I'm at a -5 there. All right, there we go. We're going to run the parallel now coming down here. And then just bend it to there. The single will just come to there, so I should be able to snap that in. That runs down to there. You're in. You're in. Right, easy enough. And then that's how my loop line transitions onto this, shares it, and then transitions off again. And then we continue. Right, those costs are 1.9 billion. So it's kind of good that we've got the game in fast forward mode and we are kind of building these like in stages rather than just building the whole line and then just waiting for the money. That's been my biggest mistake in the past. So let's re-edit this route now then. And let's get these extensions all underway. So we're looking at you there. Now this one is on the middle. So, oh, is it not in the middle? Ah, I didn't. Right, discard changes. I didn't build a Chrissy Crossy. So I think that's what the issue is. I think that's what the issue is. Right, edit the routes. So there's okay. Bam, bam. Yeah, it was the Chrissy Crossy that I missed out. All right, get all that in. Beautiful pink line extension right now, which is amazing. Confirm those changes. Will it require any more additional trains? We'll do it to 8. We'll do it to 5 and keep it on 2. Right, back to normal. And we're not actually technically that far off from then completing the loop line. But the problem with the loop line is it's so deep, it's probably going to cost me now, with what I've got left to build, more than what I've just spent so far this episode, because of the sheer depths it's going to be. So I feel like this will be the cheapest run so far. I feel like, and I could be very, very wrong. So I am noticing that does look like it's meant to veer off in that direction, but we're going to make it kind of continue to follow it up and in. Might be a decision we regret unless we kind of bend it this way. But it feels like it should then be running almost parallel with the blue line until it splits, and then I can bring that round. Right, that's an even bigger challenge right now, and I think that's what we should be doing. I feel like that's how it should go. So I'm going to put my neck on the line right now and then build some crossovers and build one there. I'm going to build one there, and then we're going to build those blueprints. We are then going to change the loop line system. So we're going to edit it. We're going to take this away here. Glorious and confirm. And then the blue line, we're going to edit this. And this does extend further, so I'm going to have to kind of cap this off a lot further. But this feels right, what we're about to attempt right now. So to there, and then confirm those changes. And then just give it a minute for the game to catch up with itself with what is now going down. So we're actually going to bring it out this way and then swoop it in together. I think that is the way we do it. Ooh, record-breaking passengers. So that's going to run through there. It's going to kind of come up, and then it's going to happen here. That's where it's probably going to happen. Now, I know I'm making that road follow down here, and I don't know, and I could be wrong, but I think that might be slightly elevated. So if I delete all of this blue line's progression, because we're going to double it up right now with the loop line. So maximum connections, maximum connectivity, maximum fun, and also then maximum money. Right, so delete you back just to there for a second. Delete you back just to there. Just give me a bit of breathing space to then figure this out. So, what I need to do is go quad, and we're going to elevate it to a +5. So, different to what we've done elsewhere. Can I squeeze it between those two buildings? There is a possibility where I can squeeze it between the two buildings. It's just getting that correct angle. There we go. There we go. So obviously I've got to transition it onto that line. They're going to share that station. Oh wait, hold on. I can't have it elevated. What am I doing here? Undo. But I have a feeling that that's elevated, so maybe we just utilize that as the transition to go underground. Yeah, that's what we'll do there. So we'll transition it to go -5. So if we've got a stop there, we'll then do a stop. And I know it's going to sound weird, but on the river. So the station entry point will be either side. And then we'll bring it down to a -10. To where we'll have a stop there. So where's the split? I'm sure the split is going to happen here. So for us in that question, the blue line could continue that way instead. It hasn't got to go down here unless I want it to. Now, if I wanted it to, we're then looking at maybe bringing this back up to a +5. So by that logic, we can then turn it back down to follow the road network if I wanted to. But then we've also got to do a -10 for the loop line to make its way down here. So that's going to go up to there, to where I would have the transition happen here. And then back down to a -5 to hopefully save a few pennies. To then continue this. Is that space too far away? I don't think so. One there. I'll do the same here if it will allow me. Yeah. And then one there. So that's where that loop line extends through and how it connects in and how it transitions over. I've just got to put that into practice. Now, just that on its own is 1.1 billion to build. So let's start with where it's probably going to be the most difficult. Now, I think I've got less play in these set of tracks here. That's a shame. 1.99 million. Do you know what? I think we can afford to delete that house. What an evil thing to say. Right. Okay. This was elevated, wasn't it? So if I go +5. That's all we had to do, right? So single, bam, bam. Right, yeah, we are deleting that, unfortunately. Right, minus, it's got to go down to a -10 now, this, because it's going to be bending in the buildings. Oh, undo. Oh, do you know what? I'm gonna pay to delete that, unfortunately. So I've now got to do this transition, which is going to be so difficult. So what I do is I'll first transition it down to a 0. And then we'll transition it down to a -5. And then to that -10. And then we've got it. We have then got it. All right, so delete some more buildings again. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to roll with it. We are just going to have to roll with it. Right, keeping that to a -2. No, actually, do you know what? Oh, no. I'm elevating this up to a +5 as soon as I can. So where is the soonest? Here. And then what we'll do, we'll throw a crossover here. So that completes that line extension. So let me commit to those now while we've got the 1.4 billion in the bank before I do everything else. Commit to that. And then we'll then re-extend the blue line to roughly where it was before. And it's utilizing the middle stations. So roughly where it was before. So we're almost back to normal in many ways. And then confirm those changes. But now it shares a line with the loop system for a brief period, which is going to be very handy. Right. Very good, boys. Very good. So now let's try and do the dangerous connection of this elevation change. So we know it's got to be a -10. We know that. We know that. We know that. We know that. So if I went to here to bend you like this to run you in. If I went to there to bend you in. Magical. Absolutely. You ever seen anything so magical in all your life? All right, bring you to there. Swoop ya in. Right, you just got to watch that transition. That's all you've got to do is watch the transition. Now, I know I'm doing it -10 on areas where I could be saving money, but it will do the job. You just got to get to a -10 first. And then we're all good. Right, this is a solid extension. So that there commits to the loop line extending all the way down here. Now, it is quite the interesting extension. As you can now see, that loop line kind of sticks out a little bit more, but I think it makes more sense for it to connect to existing infrastructure a bit better. So it does share a run with the blue line there and the pink line there, which I think is a great addition. And then we just got to figure out how we then ultimately connecting up to there, here to here. And then I've got my loop line ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to start in the middle here. So building stations, and all this is going to have to be -10 to here. So we'll do the transition there. So build tracks. And that keeps us at a certain level, which is great. Right, undo that. Build stations, we'll throw one in the middle of that whole area. So build tracks. Right, we understand it's got to transition to such a depth. But that's how it is, unfortunately. So there is the Canary Wharf kind of style-ish. We'll do another station just here. And then how am I transitioning it? We're going to obviously bend it this way, right? So we'll do a station there. And I feel like, depending on the demand stats, yes, something around here is probably the better bet. I don't want to end up doing 2 stations. Like having to do one there. And one there. Because they're way too close together. So I could settle for a station here instead. Thus deleting you and you. And it may be making a little bit more sense. Kind of. It doesn't really make any more sense than it doesn't make any sense, guys. It doesn't make any sense. All right, bring you to there because of that transition. These should be straightforward right now. There should be no buildings with its build or its foundation depth being too low, apart from that one. Of course it is. Of course it is. All right, run you like that first. Right, I just got to bend this round. There's me saying it's not going to happen, and it literally, there's a whole set of buildings there where we've just struggled to get it all in. Right, we'll commit to that. Okay, we're going to commit to that right now. Build those blueprints. Now, it's hard to tell how much I've spent, but I am very, very quickly running out of money. We've had some issues with the loop line system there with some stuff having to get deleted. But look how much I've spent right now. I've spent, just in construction-wise, 1.2 plus 2, that's 3.2. Plus 2, that's 5.2. Plus, let's call it 1.5-ish. 5.2, 6.2, 6.7, close to 8. No, close to 7, 6. Close to 7 billion. I've spent more money today than any other episode, and all I've got left right now is this connection. Which this one will try and save some money. So I know to a certain extent we can keep it like elevated. So I know I can build a station elevated there. I know I'm going to be able to build a station elevated here. And Where's this going, by the way? So I've got to get to over here. Can I build a station elevated here? I can do if I do it here. Like that. And then that works. But I don't know whether to kind of push that station back there in the hopes of getting a station here. And then by deleting that one. We'll do that instead. And then all I've got to do now is go down to a -10. Just so I can then meet in the middle. So I'll do one there. And then we'll do one there. Right, let's see how this plays out, because this could also just go wrong. All right, bring you to there. Minimal effort right now. Minimal effort. Well, that connects over gloriously. So now we're looking at a +5. So that's got to get to +5 as soon as it can. These should be relatively simple now. There just will be a little bit of fine-tuning to get through here. So that works. That works. That works. And I think we've now completed the loop. Look at that for a loop. It is huge right now. And of course, I don't have any, well, or enough funds. Of course I don't. I need 900. Oh, actually, do you know what? I'm borderline there. And now I've got enough. Nice. So this is it, guys. This is it right now. We now have completed the loop line, which we now have to divide the loop line into 2 separate lines. So checking the route ridership anyway, you can see that the loop line has since dropped off dramatically. Why is that reason? Well, the other lines have now been extended. They now transport people even more, and it goes a little bit further. So that's one of the reasons. I don't know if the loop line is since broken, since we had to kind of like get rid of a bunch of trains. I think for the most part, it's pretty much all okay. It's pretty much all okay. But we're now about to split it. So this is where it's going to be a little bit more painful now to get done. The loop line, we're now going to have to edit it. And it's currently starting... Where's it starting? Here. So if I get rid of everything on the one side... which is quite a task to behold. Oh, can I do this from a more of a zoomed out position? All right, there we go. There we go. All right, let's keep it going. Nice, nice, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Right, so the loop line doesn't continue yet because it doesn't register that it is a loop system yet. There we go. Now it registers. It was one additional station required. Just for it to continue and be set up as a loop system. So I'm just double checking, making sure, taking my time. Now this uses the most outer side on this. This loop is so long. It is so long. So this is the clockwise loop, by the way. This is the clockwise variant of said loop. All right, bringing it in on the outskirts of this one. So its final number, 37, 38, 39, 40. When does it go back to being 1? Oh, there you go, 4901. Right, that should not have now. I'm just double checking. Any other stations on the other side, which it doesn't. It's on the one side, which is perfect. Absolutely perfection. Nice. Nice. I love it. I love it. And it's 1 hour 30 to complete a whole loop. Train enthusiasts will love to do the loop. They'll be like, how many times can I do a loop in a day? Train-wise then, we got 8, 5, and 2. We'll still keep it to that, but we're going to change it right now. So, loop line, CW, like clockwise. That's all you're getting out of me, guys. That's all you're going to get out of me right now. All right, very good. We'll then do another new line. So we've used that color. We might then just use this color for the loop line counter clockwise. Is it too close to that pink color line there? You could probably argue, yeah, I might go for that style then. It's even more paler than the other. Create the route. So this one, I want to edit the route right now. And let's just start here and then work our way around. And then it's on the outskirts. All right, make sure I don't miss any. All right, there we go. So this is the counterclockwise. And although it is going to half the route ridership right now, because obviously it splits it between the two lines, it will also pick up a lot more passengers than before, we're hoping, because of how the line is now extended. Becomes quite important in many ways. Right, why does it keep missing one every time I click? There we go. All right, bam. That's a tricky one to kind of click on there. There we go. There we go. I think it's that one, right? Yes. I'm now, it's only really just setting in right now. How ridiculously big this loop is. Was it a good idea, guys? I don't know. I don't know right now. Now, we will instantly have an issue because the previous loop line that used both sides of the tracks, their trains are going to be on the wrong side of the tracks to begin with. So they will throw a little kind of like moment and go, Sediak, we're on the wrong side. What are you doing to us right now? So expect there to be a warning pop up. Right, that's also now done. Confirm those changes. And trains. How many trains do they have on the other one? We had, it was 852. Trains. Right, let me buy some more. Just double checking we had enough money to buy some more. So 852, just to keep it the same. Just to keep it the same. So expect there to be an issue right now as I put it into play mode. Unless they auto-update for us anyway. But voila! We have our looped systems. Now, they're going to play a very, very vital role. They really are going to play a vital role for us. You can see what's currently happening right now. Obviously, one is more than the other because it's just pretty much changing. But we have to wait a day or two right now for it to all settle down. Now, it does go to areas we didn't previously reach before. So like this area here, this down here, a little bit there, a little bit there. And it also collects people from the end of the routes that we've now just extended, which is really important. And will give us quite a hefty amount. Quite a hefty amount right now. So it is pretty interesting. Very interesting, to say the least. Very interesting, boys. Right, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going right now. So rush hour's about to kick in on this glorious day. And then we'll get a rough idea of what we're going to be making. It's getting busier and busier. Probably are going to have to add more trains to some of these lines because we've now extended them. The loop lines are already looking pretty busy. And some of those trains already reaching max capacity. Or pretty much getting close. Route ridership then. These numbers will now change. The clockwise loop line is increasing, but they were already mismatched to begin with anyway on their stats. But the counterclockwise one is more of an accurate representation. And also they'll flip as well, because if people are going like, you know, east in the morning, it means they'll be coming west on the evening. So where one loop line will increase in the morning, the other one will catch it up on the evening. Kind of, you know, in a weird way. The red line is looking like it's getting a little bit more passengers. Could it break 300,000 for the first time? I mean, it's trying to. It's definitely trying to right now. So what's that doing for us in terms of revenue? So this is really the first day we're seeing it run through. Revenue has not really spiked too much, although it has definitely increased. We were here before, because we've built it all in stages. We're not seeing the big jump as we normally would. We are averaging around about just under 700 million profit, but with them little extensions we've done, we've had highs of 800 million. So we've added an extra 100 million on before we ran the loot system. Just with the little extensions, the pink line, green line, yellow line, and you could argue the repositioning of the blue line is also done. You could also argue that as well. Now, the counterclockwise loop is over 100,000 now. That's looking pretty good. Rush hour's kicking in for the second period now of the day. And the money is rolling in. The counterclockwise one, it looks like it's about to overtake the clockwise loop anyway. And it has. Could it overtake the green line, though? That's a real question. That is a real question right there. But how we're looking in terms of profit this time round? So income has skyrocketed. Profit has skyrocketed. Could we end with $1 billion profit? Could we end with $1 billion profit on a single day? Right, this day is about to end, by the way. So to be honest with you, right, those loop lines are in the ballpark of the other lines, considering they go around the outskirts. And it's only something that will just keep increasing as we add more lines running through it. So that's pretty cool to see. Right, did we break $1 billion profit? We didn't. No. Wow. Okay, we got awfully close. Awfully close, boys. We got right there, which is not too shabby. But from 700 million to nearly $1 billion, we've nearly increased it by 300 million. I think that's the biggest profit increase we've seen in a single episode, just by finally finalizing the loop system and doing a few more extensive expansions at the same time. Other than that, things are looking pretty solid. Right, guys, we're going to end it here right now. I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, please smash that like button down below. And until next time, I will see you all soon. So, goodbye.